Did you know that there is a country where the number of cows a person owns can determine how many wives they can have? Or that the king, in addition to ruling the territory, is seen as a central spiritual and cultural figure? Eswatini is one of the last absolute monarchies in the world, and its cultural practices, ancestral traditions, and social relations are as intriguing as they are controversial. What makes this small African country so special, and how does it stay true to its roots while facing the challenges of modernity? This is what you'll discover now in the World No Filter. Want to be part of a journey filled with discoveries, fun, and content that will surprise you? Subscribe to our channel by clicking here and never miss another video. Located in the heart of southern Africa, Eswatini is a true cultural sanctuary. With just over 1 million inhabitants, this nation blends breathtaking landscapes and rich biodiversity with customs that have endured for centuries. Despite its small geographical size, Eswatini boasts a grand culture and a strong sense of identity. In this journey, we will dive into the elements that make Eswatini a unique country, exploring everything from polygamy and its social value to royal ceremonies that celebrate Swazi identity. Get ready to discover a universe where tradition and modernity meet in surprising ways. Eswatini is a land where the past and present coexist harmoniously through a rare political structure in today's world, absolute monarchy. Led by King Mswati III, this small country is one of the few in the world where the monarch still holds extensive powers in both the political and spiritual spheres. In Eswatini, the king is not just a ruler but also a living symbol of tradition and national identity. Since ancient times, the figure of the king has been associated with the protection and continuity of Swazi culture. This connection is reinforced by ceremonies such as the famous reed dance, locally known as Umlanga, which takes place annually. During the event, thousands of young women gather to honor the Queen Mother, another central figure in the monarchy who symbolizes fertility, unity, and motherhood of the nation. This is not just a vibrant spectacle of colors and movements. It is an occasion of cultural reaffirmation, where the new generations demonstrate their energy and respect for traditions. The king's role goes beyond ceremonies. He is also an essential figure in balancing external influences and respect for local traditions. Under King Mswati III's leadership, Eswatini has managed to preserve unique aspects of its culture in an increasingly globalized world. However, this cultural preservation is not without controversy. Critics point to the authoritarianism associated with an absolute monarchy, where decisions are often made without popular participation. Additionally, the concentration of wealth and power in the figure of the king is frequently questioned in a country where much of the population faces socio-economic challenges. However, for defenders of the system, the monarchy is much more than a political structure. It is a tangible representation of cultural resistance. They argue that the king not only leads but also inspires, serving as a link between ancestral past and present. Ceremonies such as Umlanga and seasonal rituals in which the royal family participates not only reinforce community bonds but also help transmit values from generation to generation. Another essential figure in this equation is the Queen Mother, also known as Indlo Vukatsi, who plays an active role in the political and cultural life of Eswatini. Traditionally seen as the mother of the nation, she shares responsibilities with the king and often acts as a mediator between the crown and the people. This partnership reinforces the collective role of the monarchy, highlighting the importance of values such as unity and respect for ancestors. However, an interesting issue is how Eswatini's population balances devotion to the king and queen mother with the demands of the modern world. While many celebrate the king as a protector of Swazi culture, there are also growing movements calling for more democratic representation and government transparency. These debates reflect the tensions of a country seeking to preserve its unique identity while navigating the challenges of a globalized world. Eswatini offers a fascinating example of how a monarchy can function in the modern context, blending politics, spirituality, and tradition. The future of this nation, as well as its rich history, continues to prove that culture and governance can be deeply interconnected. What do you think about the role of monarchies today? Should tradition always prevail, or must it adapt to modern times? In Eswatini, polygamy is not just an accepted practice. It is a deeply cultural expression closely tied to the economy and social organization. The custom of men having multiple wives is closely related to each individual's wealth, often measured by the number of cows they own. This means that family and community relationships are defined not only by emotional bonds, but also by financial matters and social status. In Swazi culture, cows represent more than a material resource. They are seen as symbols of prosperity, generosity, and the ability to care for a large family. When a man wishes to marry, he offers a lobola, a traditional dowry, usually consisting of a significant number of cows, to the bride's family. This gesture not only strengthens the bonds between families, but also validates the groom's ability to take on responsibilities within society. However, this tradition brings its challenges. In communities where resources are limited, the pressure to accumulate cows and marry multiple wives can create inequalities and social tensions. Not all men can participate in this system, which can lead to economic exclusion and conflicts within the community. Furthermore, women may find themselves in situations where their rights are subordinated to traditional dynamics. Despite the criticisms, many Swazis defend the practice as an essential part of their cultural identity. For them, polygamy is not just a way to unite families, but also a means to perpetuate traditions that balance rural economy and community solidarity. Relationships within a polygamous marriage often function as a collaborative system, where the wives share responsibilities and contribute to creating a collective environment. In the modern context, this practice faces new challenges. The rise in women's education and access to global communication platforms has brought discussions about gender equality and the impact of polygamy on the well-being of women and children. Human rights movements argue that the practice can perpetuate systems of inequality, while others emphasize that it is a conscious choice within a specific culture. Still, it is undeniable that polygamy continues to play a significant role in Eswatini, not only as an ancestral tradition but also as an adaptive social structure. Over time, it will be interesting to observe how the country balances these practices with global influences that demand greater inclusion and equality. Eswatini faces significant challenges in the field of health, with the high prevalence of HIV/AIDS being a standout issue, affecting approximately 27% of the adult population. This reality requires ongoing efforts to mitigate its impacts, such as the free distribution of antiretroviral drugs, ARVs, awareness campaigns, and prevention strategies that include reducing vertical transmission. While these programs have made progress, the social stigma associated with the disease continues to be a major obstacle, making it difficult for people to adhere to treatment. In addition to HIV/AIDS, the country deals with issues like malnutrition, non-communicable chronic diseases, and often neglected mental health. Many communities, especially in rural areas, face difficulties in accessing medical care due to a lack of infrastructure and qualified professionals. In response, partnerships with international organizations have contributed to building community clinics, as well as training healthcare workers, promoting gradual improvements in medical assistance. On the spiritual front, Eswatini features a rich integration of traditional beliefs and Christianity. Ancestral practices, such as the Nkwala rituals, play a central role in connecting with ancestors, reinforcing cultural and community values. These rituals celebrate unity and continuity of the nation, while reaffirming the connection between the people, the land, and their spiritual leaders. Simultaneously, Christianity, introduced by missionaries during colonization, has become widely practiced, with churches serving as centers for both social and spiritual support. This coexistence of traditional practices and Christian influences results in a unique spiritual identity, visible in events that blend elements of both beliefs. For example, ceremonies such as weddings and funerals often incorporate aspects of both Christian and ancestral traditions, symbolizing a balance between past and present. Despite the pressures of globalization and demands for modernization, Eswatini remains committed to preserving its cultural heritage while facing contemporary challenges. The tensions between traditional practices and external influences reflect the country's search for a path that harmonizes public health, spirituality, and development. This ongoing effort demonstrates that it is possible to value cultural roots while adopting innovative solutions to modern problems. In Eswatini, few things hold as much cultural, economic, and social significance as cattle. Since ancient times, cows have played a central role in the lives of the Swazi people, serving not only as a source of livelihood but also as a symbol of status, wealth, and connection to the ancestors. In Swazi society, the number of cows a person owns directly reflects their social standing. This system, deeply rooted in local culture, goes beyond simply demonstrating material prosperity. For the Swazi people, cows represent responsibility and community leadership, as owning and caring for these animals is seen as proof of competence and commitment. The economic value of cows in Eswatini is immense. They are used in a wide range of contexts, from marriage dowries to payments in important business negotiations. The dowry, known as lobola, is one of the most well-known practices associated with cattle. When a man wishes to marry, he must give a significant number of cows to the bride's family, a gesture that symbolizes not only his ability to support a wife, but also his respect for her family. This system strengthens family ties and keeps the tradition alive. In addition to their direct economic use, cows also hold spiritual significance in Eswatini. During traditional ceremonies, such as rituals honoring the ancestors, it is common for cows to be sacrificed as offerings. This act is seen as a form of communication with the spirits, asking for blessings, protection, or prosperity for the community. Despite their symbolic value, the role of cows in Swazi society is not without challenges. In many communities, the pursuit of larger herds has led to tensions and inequalities. Wealthier families with large herds often gain significant social and economic advantages, while those with fewer resources become excluded from important traditional practices, such as marriage or certain rituals. Another issue associated with the cattle system is the environmental pressure. With population growth and the intensification of land use for agriculture and livestock, the sustainability of cattle ownership has been called into question. Overburdened pastures and climate change make it difficult to maintain large herds, which could threaten the continuation of long-standing practices. On the other hand, initiatives to modernize and adapt cattle-related practices are beginning to emerge in Eswatini. Programs encouraging sustainable livestock farming and the efficient use of natural resources have helped alleviate some of the issues associated with managing large herds. Additionally, the government and local organizations are working to raise awareness about the importance of balancing tradition with sustainability. Cows will continue to play an essential role in life in Eswatini. Whether as a symbol of wealth, a pillar of cultural practices, or a tool for economic survival, their importance to Swazi society is undeniable. How the country addresses the challenges associated with cattle will be crucial in maintaining a balance between tradition and modernity, ensuring that this cultural heritage is preserved for future generations. Eswatini, despite its compact size, holds a natural wealth that few countries can match. Its national parks and protected reserves are testaments to the nation's commitment to conservation, even as it faces the challenges of a constantly urbanizing world. Among rolling hills covered with forests and vast savannas, Eswatini's biodiversity is a key part of its identity. One of the most iconic landmarks of conservation in Eswatini is the Hlain National Park, one of the largest in the country. This sanctuary is home to emblematic species, including the endangered white rhinoceros, lions, elephants, and leopards. The presence of rhinoceroses, in particular, reflects the country's efforts to protect one of the planet's most vulnerable species. Hunted for their horns, these animals have faced drastic declines worldwide, but in Hlain, the population is protected by rigorous monitoring programs and anti-poaching patrols. Another notable area is the Mlilwain Park, the first in Eswatini, created to restore degraded habitats. The success of this project proves that conservation can go hand in hand with sustainable tourism. Visitors can explore the landscape on foot, by bicycle, or on safari, offering an intimate interaction with nature and promoting environmental awareness. Eswatini's flora is also remarkable. With lively grasslands and lush mountains, the country has diverse vegetation that serves as a home for bird and insect species unique to the region. Additionally, the forests play a vital role in protecting water resources and mitigating climate change, storing carbon dioxide and providing water for local communities and agricultural activities. While conservation efforts are inspiring, Eswatini faces growing challenges due to economic development and population growth. The pressure to expand agricultural land and build infrastructure threatens natural habitats. Additionally, climate change intensifies drought periods and affects water availability, harming both wildlife and humans. In response, the government and environmental organizations have implemented initiatives to involve local communities. Environmental education programs, reforestation, and sustainable livelihood alternatives are helping to reduce human impact on ecosystems. For example, efforts to promote sustainable farming practices ensure that farmers can thrive without destroying the natural resources that sustain their activities. Another important factor is the role of traditional cultures in conservation. Many communities in Eswatini have a spiritual connection to the land, seeing it as a gift from their ancestors that must be preserved. This ethos contributes to practices that respect the environment, from careful plant collection to regulated hunting. However, preserving biodiversity is not only a cultural or environmental issue but also an economic one. Ecotourism represents a significant source of income for the country, attracting visitors seeking authentic, nature-based experiences. These resources help fund conservation efforts and improve the quality of life for local communities. Eswatini, therefore, serves as an example of how a small country can play a disproportionate role in environmental protection. With its commitment to balancing development, tradition, and sustainability, the nation shows that it is possible to preserve natural wealth for future generations, even in a transforming world. What do you think of this model? Could it serve as an inspiration for other countries facing their environmental challenges? Eswatini is both a land of deep traditions and a country striving to adapt to the fast pace of the contemporary world. This balance between cultural values inherited from generations and the demands of modernity represents both a challenge and a unique opportunity for the kingdom. More than anything else, Eswatini symbolizes the struggle to harmonize two contrasting forces: the preservation of its cultural heritage and adaptation to the economic and social needs of a globalized world. On one hand, Swazi society maintains a profound respect for its ancestral customs. The monarchy, as we have explored, is the core of this cultural identity. The king and the queen mother are not only rulers but spiritual guides and protectors of traditions that have shaped the nation's ethos. Celebrations, rituals, and polygamy are tangible expressions of a system that values continuity and connection with the past. On the other hand, the economic and political reality demands change. Like many African countries, Eswatini faces high unemployment rates, social inequality, and international pressure for democratic reforms. The economy, largely based on agriculture and ecotourism, is under constant threat due to climate change and global competition. These factors create a dilemma. How much can traditions be maintained while the country seeks to attract investments and align with modern practices of governance and development? The younger generation plays a crucial role in this scenario. More connected to the rest of the world thanks to the internet and globalization, the youth of Eswatini are increasingly questioning certain traditional practices, especially those that directly affect women's rights and equal opportunities. At the same time, many recognize the value of preserving unique aspects of Swazi culture, understanding that losing these traditions would mean losing an essential part of their identity. Another interesting aspect of this dynamic is how spirituality and the relationship with nature influence the modernization process. The intrinsic connection between the Swazi people and their land is not only economic but also symbolic and spiritual. This is reflected in environmental conservation initiatives that seek to integrate traditional practices with scientific approaches. This combination shows that tradition and modernity do not have to be opposing forces but can complement each other in a constructive way. Eswatini's politics are also evolving, albeit slowly and cautiously. The system of absolute monarchy, widely criticized for its lack of democratic participation, has started to take small steps toward greater political inclusion. This includes discussions on civil rights, greater government transparency, and even the possibility of decentralizing power. Still, the path to significant reforms is long and faces resistance from conservative sectors that fear the loss of cultural values. Eswatini offers a valuable lesson to the world. The balance between tradition and modernity is an ongoing journey that requires dialogue, adaptation, and mutual respect. The country has shown that it is possible to preserve ancestral customs without ignoring the demands of a global society. The key to this balance seems to lie in education and community engagement. By empowering its population with knowledge and resources, Eswatini can not only face its challenges but also stand out as a model of harmonious coexistence between the old and the new. In the end, Eswatini is not just a nation. It is a symbol of cultural resilience, environmental endurance, and transformative potential. It invites us to reflect on our own cultures and what it means to find a sustainable balance in a constantly changing world. Can other countries learn from Eswatini's experience? How far should we go to preserve our traditions while moving toward the future? We hope this journey through the mysteries of fascinating Eswatini has been as exciting for you as it has been for us. Considering that and the effort that making these videos demands from us, we would love for you to leave us a like and a comment. It is the best way to help us continue bringing the best content every week. If you like this video and are not yet subscribed, don't waste time. Do it now and activate the notification bell, so you won't miss the fascinating videos we produce every week, like this one that you can watch now to discover one of the most fascinating places on the planet. Don't miss this opportunity and explore the wonders that many other places have to offer.